If you guys are wondering why I look like shit, it's because I basically just woke up from a nap. I've had a really shitty fucking week, and yeah, this movie didn't make it any better. So Studio 666 is a new horror comedy brought to us from the Foo Fighters? These guys are the last type of people I'd ever expect to try and make a movie like this. But this movie is simple. It follows the Foo Fighters as they're struggling to make their 10th album. And hoping to kick the writer's block that they all decide to relocate to a remote house out in the middle of nowhere. There's only one problem though. That house is more haunted than hell itself. David Grohl gets possessed, a bunch of shenanigans ensue, and he starts offing every single member of his band one by one. That's about as simple of a summary for a premise like this is going to get. Guys, right out the gate, I was hyped as hell for this movie. It looked like it was just going to be a dumb, fun time at the movies with a lot of gore and a lot of laughs. So was it? Not so much. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news for anybody that was looking forward to enjoying this movie, but this movie is not great. And I hate saying that too, because this movie had so much potential to be fun and good. But instead, all we got was this oversaturated mess of a story with bad acting, mellow-ass humor, and just horrible editing. And don't get me wrong, guys, I like the Foo Fighters. I love their music, and they made some songs that I listen to pretty much almost daily. But that's the problem with the Foo Fighters. They're musicians. They're not actors. Throughout the whole movie, it's like they're all aware that they can't act, but they don't care, so they keep trying to act. They all talk in these really exaggerated voice tones and make these exaggerated ass faces. It's just painful to watch. It also doesn't help that most of the dialogue in this movie sounds like it was written by an edgy high school freshman who just now discovered the word fuck. Seriously, take a shot in this movie every time someone drops an F-bomb. By the end, you'll either be dead or on your way to the hospital at least. This movie also seems to think it's very hilarious. No. I mean, while it did have moments in it that did have me bust out laughing, I ended up mostly giving it these awkward chuckles because the humor in this movie is just so dry and juvenile. It only had a few moments in it that were legit funny and that actually got me laughing pretty hard. It had a few laugh out loud moments in it, but not enough to keep me laughing out loud the entire time during the movie. And it's like the more it tries to be funny, the less funny it is. Kind of like that kid in that class that wants to be the class clown so badly, but instead of laughing with him, you're laughing at him because, he's just stupid and he's not funny. Now, obviously, this movie is being pitched as a horror comedy, so how is the horror aspect? David Grohl getting possessed and tearing through the other members of his band was probably the most entertaining thing about the movie. Because a lot of the ways he dispatches people in this movie is just a fucking blast to witness. I've said it before, if you're going to make a movie that has excessive amounts of gore in it, make sure you're working with practical effects first. I think they made a wise decision when it comes to the gore, because not only does it look real and authentic, it just looks fucking brutal at some points. Digital effects will never beat practical effects, so props to them for that. Best kill in the movie definitely has to be the chainsaw through the bed. Just go watch the Red Band trailer and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, back to dogging on the movie. Yeah, the pacing of this movie is also all over the place. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 58 minutes. That is just way too long for a movie like this that has a premise like this. Why is this movie almost 2 hours? I know why. It's because it's full of unnecessary scenes that add absolutely nothing to the plot or the story. You could cut probably about maybe 35 minutes worth of footage from this movie and it would not change the plot whatsoever. Not to mention, there were moments where this movie was just faking you out. Like, it would look like it's getting ready to end, but then they would keep on going, and then it would come to another point where it seemed like it was going to end, again, only for them to pull another gotcha and keep on going. And the more it went on, the more cheesy this film got, and the more cheesy it got, the more pissed I started to get. At that point, I was slowly starting to check out. It wasn't good. In fact, I think the exact moment I decided to check out was when they just blatantly decided, oh yeah, we're just going to remake Evil Dead and rip it off. I don't know why it didn't come to mind while I was watching the movie, because this movie, like in its premise wise at least, is kind of similar to the way the Evil Dead plays out. Like, the Necronomicon is in the movie, guys. It's literally the thing that's causing all the events in this movie to happen. They don't come out and say it's exactly the Necronomicon, but they call it the Book of the Dead, and they reference how it's made out of human flesh. And this movie just happens to be about a group of people in an isolated area that's trying to survive against this supernatural force that originates from said book. That is the Evil Dead. Everything I just described right there is the Evil Dead to a T. The Foo Fighters basically just remade Evil Dead and did not do anything original at all. What the fuck? And just shamelessly too. Like, did they all just have a fucking meeting where they sat down and was like, okay guys, what can we do to make our new movie? Oh, I know. You know that movie Evil Dead that everybody likes so much? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just rip it off. And of course, you know, David Grohl was like, oh yeah, let's do that. That'll be a good idea. They won't ever notice. Well, guess what, guys? I fucking noticed. And yeah, you suck. You suck real hard for it. Guys, in the end, Studio 666 is just a poorly written, badly made movie that is ripping off the Evil Dead and is trying to masquerade as something new. Aside from a few good kills and a few decent laughs, nothing about this movie is memorable or great. Like, seriously guys, I'll be surprised if I even remember this movie was a thing by the time 2022 is over. Like, you ripped off one of the greatest horror movies ever made. I can't forgive you for that. This movie's just bad like fucking coleslaw. Alright, thank you guys so much for joining me for my review on Studio 666. I legit think the only reason this movie didn't get the go fuck yourself treatment is because I legit laughed out loud at a few decent scenes in the movie, and the gore effects were decent. Unfortunately, everything else in this movie was just so fucking stupid that I just couldn't excuse it. And the fact that you're blatantly ripping off the Evil Dead and just kind of smearing the fact that you did in my face, yeah, I can't let that slide. Like, legit, guys, just go see any other movie that came out in February. Except for Moonfall. I'm still not over Moonfall. Alright, but once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new. And let me know in the comments below if there's anything you guys want to see me review personally. And as always, this is Nathan Triner. I'm saying peace, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, see you next time for more Fireforged movie reviews. There we go. I don't know why I forgot my outro. I'm tired. Anyway, peace out, everybody.